Hello and welcome to this review slash comparison video of these two die-cast B-Wings that have come out in recent-ish years. So I wanted to kind of compare and contrast these sets and see maybe if you're a die-cast fan, maybe which one you want to go for, and just the different design aspects of each one, and maybe their pros and cons. Alright, I just bought this B-Wing. I saw it in stores at my local grocery store. They have these sets pretty much anywhere you can get toys. I like this new series. I believe it's by Hot Wheel. I like any series of accurate representations of ships or things like that from movies. I like Star Wars ships specifically just because of their wacky nature and almost functional appearance, even though it's kind of mythical. And a B-Wing, which are these two models obviously, are quite rare to be made in model form. X-Wings and A-Wings and Y-Wings are much more common, so B-Wings, whenever I see them, I usually try to snatch them up because they are very rare. This is a Star Wars Titanium Black Series model that came out a while ago, not too long ago. I thought it was a vintage, but I remembered it was not. And we will be comparing it to this very recent model. Not too big of a difference. I have some much older die-cast. Maybe I'll compare those in the future videos. These videos seem to be the most viewed on my channel, and I like making them, so I thought about making some more. So let's do an unboxing of this real fast, and we'll take a look at it. I don't have one of these that's open, so this is my first impressions of it. So let's just do it the old-fashioned way. Classic. It still is easier just to rip them off like that. I thought about using a knife, but it doesn't seem to have been worth it. Okay, it is a shell design, like most of them have been. We'll put this off to the side. So you get the new stand type. The old Hot Wheels, or first series of Hot Wheel die-cast, came with like a finger clamp that you could wear, and you could kind of fly the ship around. So that was better for kids, and I like the play aspect of it, but a lot of ships did have a hard time standing up on them, so I could see kids getting frustrated with trying to stand them up and just display them. So I do like how they switched to these, but they're less playable. They have the insignia of what alliance or class they were a part of. So this one obviously has the Rebel symbol. And let's take out the actual model here. Okay, so it is rubber banded on, which is a nice touch. Would have been, I didn't even see it, so that's kind of cool that they packaged it without like wires and stuff like that, so you could see kind of what it would look like. Alright, so here is the B-Wing out of its packaging. I'll look at some articulation. It does not seem to have wing articulation. You could kind of tell that from the package. It does have cockpit articulation, but it is quite stiff. And it looks like it only has, what is that, 90 degrees of rotation. So you can have it on the side view or the top view. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. I thought it would do all the way around, but it looks like it only does 90 degrees. Printing looks to be pretty decent. Some weathering on the orange dot there. I don't know if that's an insignia or something. And it looks like the engine is where the stand goes. And then, sorry about that cut. Um, does it go in sideways or vertical? Which way does it go in? It's quite stiff. Maybe it goes two ways? So it goes that way. Okay. But it looks like it might be able to go two ways. Okay, that's kind of cool. It has two mounting points, so you can do, or two angles. You can do its side flight mode, or its movie, its top mode, whichever you prefer. And it is tall enough to do that. You can stand on this quite hard surface to stand on. This model is quite a lot harder to stand with this stand even. So let's do its side view to get a comparison kind of to the other one. Kind of clicked in there weird. That's quite a stiff stand actually. Okay. So here they are together. You can see the coloring between the two is different. I can't tell what I like better. It feels like this might be more screen accurate, but I think this might be more model accurate, meaning on blue screens, blue colors would come up quite gray. So it might have been actually blue in the movie. I'm trying to remember back. B-Wings weren't on the screen very often, so I guess they do kind of look more like this in the movie, but I think I like this coloring better. It pops more. Some big things that I can point out right away are the detailing is much more defined on the new Hot Wheels version. Much deeper cuts for the paneling, as you can see. About the same, actually. So that's pretty cool, actually. The lengths of them look to be different. Again, I think this Titanium series is more movie accurate with a longer wing. This one actually kind of looks stubby, now comparing it to that. I mean, if you just saw that, it looks pretty accurate, so you wouldn't notice, but together you can obviously see the difference. The profiling, let's see that from the front. Again, this one's much more accurate than this one. You can obviously see, I think the big thing for me that's coming out right away is these massive rivet holes. On this one, let's take it off its stand. There is one screw holding this whole thing together, which might hamper it on strength, but for look, that profile looks very, very movie accurate, so that is very cool. Whereas this one has massive rivets that can hamper its design. Geez, that is really hard to get apart, so might be hard for a kid to do that. Some more detailing. Let's look at the back of this one. Very pronounced engine pod, whereas this one does not even have an engine pod due to the stand. The wings, I do like how the wings match up nice, whereas these have, it's like a drawback or a kind of trade-off. These ones actually, like the movie, come in. Which is probably the biggest difference and the most obvious difference between these two. So if you want a landed B-Wing stance, the Titanium Series 1 is the only way to go. You cannot do that with the Hot Wheels one. Also with the B-Wing one on articulation, the cockpit spins 360. Looking at this one now, it would have been nice, I think, to have it only do like 240 or something like that, where it only does from here to here, because it doesn't make much sense to go like upside down. I guess it is okay for that. Maybe the B-Wings could do that. I don't know about the canonized version of the B-Wing, what it can do with its cockpit. It has the Hot Wheels one has a much more pronounced front laser, I believe. Another thing I see that is quite different is the gun pods on both of these models, bottom gun pods. As you can see, one is, again, much larger, probably more movie accurate with 3 laser pods, whereas this one only has 2, and it's a much smaller nacelle. The wings have much blasters with even detailing on the bottom sides, and probably more movie accurate wing shapes, even though I do like this shape better. There is detailing actually on both bottoms, so that's good. Okay, kind of coming down to my final thoughts, sort of, and kind of what they're supposed to be. All right, the Titanium series is far and away the better looking and more movie accurate version of the B-Wing, with a longer wing, articulating S-foils, and articulating cockpit. It also has an engine pod, and the overall proportions are much more accurate to the movie. So it's got that, all those things going for it. The huge drawbacks to that are the wings. Cons, the wings can go farther than they should. So a lot of times you catch yourself kind of like realigning them to make them accurate, and then if you bump it while you're playing or something, oh, it's not movie accurate anymore, and that can ruin immersion or something. So I wish they had a stop or something in there so that it would only go 90 degrees. So that is a downside. It's also, final downsides are, okay, what's a pro or and a con? It feels heavier. Well, actually, this one feels more dense, actually. But this one feels more premium for some reason in the hand. I think it's because it's thinner, and that's its downside as well. It is much less playable. This moves a lot, so if you're really worried about that, or if you're stingy for, keeping it in one place while you're doing something, or your kid notices that it moves around a lot more while you're playing with it, the wings don't stay put. They move around. They're quite easy to bump. So playing with this, and also this gun, is quite weak, and I feel like you could snap that. It's rubbery. Both of these are rubbery. Again, they kind of can get bent if you leave them on something, which can be annoying. Coming back to the Hot Wheels version, it is much stiffer, has much less articulation, and is wider and less movie accurate. All that being said, it is much more sturdy. The guns will not bend as much. The wings are stiff, so they are always in flight mode, which is a downside and a positive in that they always look like it's ready to fight. Big downsides are the rivets. I do not like those, again, as I said, but the upside, I think the huge upside to the Hot Wheels version is it is just much more rugged feeling. It's heavy in the hand, and it feels like a kid could play with this and not break it, drop it downstairs, and things like that. So it is much stronger, much more of a toy than the Titanium series. So overall, I would say if you are a collector and like accuracy, I would go with the Titanium series, B-Wing. And if you are getting this for your kid, I would go with the Hot. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.